Warning, the following broadcast contains strong opinions, playful antics, and controversial topics causing off-the-rails fun. Chances for being offended are higher than average for sensitive people. Viewer discretion is not advised. Live a little and have some fun.
Hello, and we've hit all the right buttons, so we're good to go. Welcome to the Coach's Box, episode 224, the big game and the big lame. And it's great to be back with the boys. It's great to be back with the boys.
I'm pretty sure no one's ever told you you've hit all the right buttons.
I've never hit all the right buttons, trust me. I was more talking about Kevin, making sure we got on correctly. So,
hey, did anybody check? Hey, does anybody check to make sure we're actually streaming right now?
It says live.
That's Jarvis's job. That's Jarvis's job because Jarvis spent the first 10 minutes of the show checking to make sure everything's working.
Well, usually I'm pretty bored with what Chris has to say, you know. So I do that at the beginning of the show. But
where is Chris? We're all supposed to be here today. Where's Chris?
I know. I told you all. I said somebody's gonna ghost. And my bet was
sure enough.
I mean, I would have laid my next paycheck and it would have been Jim. And it was not Jim. It is Chris Miller. I am too much. I have too much to do. Miller. Hey, I've got 3 games this week. I already played 2, and I'm here. So I don't.
By the way, hold on. By the way, congratulations, Jarvis. A nice win over West County the other night.
I know. We beat West County. I guess we must have laid it all out there on that game. Then we followed that up Tuesday and lost to Afton by 12. They got a couple good scores on that Afton team, man. A kid averaging 19, another kid's averaging 11, and they just hit a bunch of threes. And it was it was so crazy because, like, everything went well for us against West County. I mean, they were 12-6 when we played them, leading the MAAA, small schools, and everything just went right for us in that game. I mean, it kind of helped Tanner Duncan had 28. I mean, you know, that kind of helps. But
yeah.
But everything went right, and then we went to Afton, and like every loose ball and every, 50-50 call went their way. So yeah, it's hard to play it back-to-back in high school too, especially when you're only playing like 7 or 8 kids, if that.
Yeah.
And actually, it's West County, everyone played, but one kid on my bench. I mean, it was one of those nights. People were in foul trouble. It was a fun game, especially for my kids. We've been battling all year. We lost a heartbreaker to Northwest on a buzzer beater, and then we got a win, and only one win in our tournament. I was hoping to get 2. We added this game, and I'm not going to lie. I'll throw Gilman under the bus here. I said, you add. I said, Coach, you added. So we lost our Potosi game, and we added West County. I said, well, crap, we might as well have played Potosi. And then and he kept telling me, Coach, they're up and down. You might catch them on the right night. And he was right. I hate to admit it, but Coach Gilman was right, and we caught him on a good night. And you can ask Miller this, but oh wait, he's not here. Some teams struggle to shoot in that gym.
Yeah. What in Afton's gym?
Our gym, Afton's gym maybe too. We struggled, but in our gym, some teams struggle to shoot there. I don't know.
Yeah,
I love Afton's gym just because it's one of the old school style gyms with the wood.
sweet, man. The kid,
yeah.
I like it. And then the locker rooms are underneath the concrete bleachers, and it's got the new school but old school,
Yeah.
And they kind of set it up real nice. They made all the fans sit on one side, and then we were by ourselves on the other side, which was good too, and not have to worry about how everyone in the stands thinks that you don't know what the hell you're doing. Their
for a fact they're on the other side of the bleachers going, he doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
I mean, they gotta yell. They gotta yell a little bit louder for me to hear him over there. And their Athens coach always has those kids prepared pretty well, and they compete. And their leading scorer number 2. He's a player. He's a lefty, sophomore, and he can just score it. And so it was a battle, and we just fell a little short, but that's how high school basketball is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jason mentioned playing back-to-backs. We had 4 games in 7 days last week. Thank goodness we're off this week. We don't have a game this week. This is one of those rare glitches that, we don't play at all this week, which is good in a way after going, 4 games in 7 days. And we played well. We lost to Ursuline. Ursuline's really, really good again. But we had a nice win over House Central, knocked off St. Dom's, and then, the SEM games last Saturday, we beat Lutheran North. So, it was a good stretch for us, and we're playing pretty good right now, but we've got a gauntlet coming up here over the next 3 weeks with the majority of our conference games. And, this week having off and just kind of worrying about us instead of worrying about scouting reports and stuff like that. It's kind of getting us back to the the old school, just working on fundamentals and stuff like that. But I know what Jason's saying, playing back to backs in 3 and 4 days, Jason, or 3 and 5 days.
We'll play again Friday against Grandview, a conference game. It's only our second conference game of the year so far, and I have 3 games booked all the way till the end of the season every week. It's except maybe our last week. We're still waiting on Pacific to get back with us. I think we're going to play them again. We played them in the tournament. They had an opening. We had an opening. We tried to get a couple other schools, and it's hard to get another game this late in the season. I know Gilman's been trying to get us something that's competitive. And, the Pacific game, I had a starter that didn't even play, and it was still, like a 12 or 14 point game. So I'm hoping that we can play them again. It'll be at their place, which will be a little bit harder. But we got some fun games coming up. We got Grandview on Friday. And then next week I get to go down there to that lovely town of Perryville. And
tell Bruce we said hello.
Yeah, I will definitely tell Bruce that the coach's box is always thinking about him as he's closet watching right now. And I will give him plenty of trouble. He is probably, in the small school conference, me and Bruce are the elder statesmen. I mean, we're the two. He's of course been there. He's got the most experience and been at that school for who knows how many years. But I'm second, I think, if you look at our small schools, coaching wise, and your tenure at your school. So Bruce has always been great. It's always fun to play against him. It's fun to listen to him and his Bruceisms and Valeroyisms, or whatever you want to call them. And it'll be fun, even going down there. That's coming up, I think, next week for us. So,
Cool. Well, good to catch up on all of our stuff. And now let's get into it. The big game, we won't get into that here for a second, but the big lame, the Cardinals. Couple things. Number one, did you guys
see? Lame is good. Hey, that's the first time I've agreed with Jim. Go ahead.
Did you guys hear the Jim Edmonds interview?
It was awesome.
It was
so
fantastic.
Glad. Yes.
It was fantastic. And I think he hit everything on the head. I agree with him about the change of culture. And I didn't realize this until I saw it. on social media, but they're the only team that did not sign a free agent in the free agent period.
Mm-hmm.
I knew them in Seattle for the longest time. Were the only two.
It was them in Minnesota. Minnesota last week signed a relief pitcher, and that's the only player that Minnesota has signed. So the Cardinals are still don't have anything, and apparently aren't looking to add anything free agent wise. Although stories are now that they've reported re-engaged in conversations with the Red Sox about Arenado.
Yeah, that's what I heard that today too.
Yeah, I heard that this morning, and there was a couple guys that were basically asked, "Do you think that Arenado will be playing on opening day for St. Louis?" And they're all saying no. He doesn't want to be here. He does not want to be here, especially.
We don't want him here either.
Right.
Let's plant Gorman's butt over there and see how many times he strikes out. And
but here's the thing, and I think one of the striking things out of the Edmonds interview was when there was an opportunity for Arenado, for them to possibly, Arenado goes to the front office and says, "Hey, can we bring Mark McGuire in to help us with our hitting?"
Mm-hmm.
And the front office says, "No, we're good. We got everything we need. We're good." That's a bunch of BS.
Mm-hmm.
You've got your star player asking to bring somebody in that is that's a proven commodity, and you're not going to let him come in.
You're not going to let you're not going to let one of the dudes that brought baseball back after the strike, who brought baseball, him and Sammy Sosa brought baseball back, and you're not going to let him, one of the greatest think about it. People were going to games and we sucked, but they were going to watch him hit home runs. Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
What in the I hate what is going on with the Cardinals right now. We are a laughing stock across America when it comes to baseball. It is embarrassing, and this is not the Cardinals that I know. This is awful.
I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
I 100% agree.
I'm fired up.
I know you're fired up, and I don't blame you. I think we should all be fired up. There was, and I'll let you guys hear in a second, but I was listening. They on 101, they have on their afternoon show. It's called Mic Drops. I swear to God, they had this lady. She was probably 75, 80 years old, and she came in on fire on Mosaic, and she just she's like, our team is so boring, and our team is taking on the persona of their general manager, this Mo guy, and he's so boring she went on for like 90 seconds, and I'm driving down 40 just dying because she's hitting everything right on the head.
It's embarrassing.
I wonder if this is kind of, they're setting up the stage to kind of transfer that power over to Blom. Is this kind of, and he started, I guess, kind of having his handprint on some of these things. Is this his way of trying to completely eliminate the Mosaic era and try to transition into his thing by just not even acknowledging that this is a year that we're trying to do anything other than just reboot and restart from the beginning?
Why are you rebooting and restarting when Mo's in his last year? That's what I don't get. If you were going to do that, then tell Mo, go ahead, sign your papers, and go ahead and start an early retirement. That doesn't make any sense to me.
You're right. I don't think Mo really is in charge. I think they've already handed over power to
Liam.
And I don't, and I think they're just letting him stay on as a save face. Thank you for what you've done for 15, 17, 18 years for the Cardinals thing. And he gets to go out on his own terms at the end of his contract. And I don't get it. but I don't know why that has to be that way. I'm just wondering if it is that way.
Okay, if this is going to
but-
be your
but-
last year, hold on. If this is going to be your last year, at least with the Cardinals, and who knows if he retires, it goes to another program, whatever. Why would you not want to go out with a bang and say, I'm going to try and win in my last year, and I'm going to do everything I can for the best fans in baseball and try and give us a winner one last time? Like, they rallied around La Russa, 11-11 and all that stuff. And so, like, why would Mo, if that's the case, why would you not sit here and say, I'm going to do everything I can? Because to me, all it is like, we just got to save money. Like we got to worry about egg prices or something. We got to save as much money as we can. And then we're going to put it back in like what, Jupiter? Makes no sense to me.
But here's where my question is: look at it. What has Mo really done? What has he done for this organization?
He drafted Molina and Pujols.
Mozeliak did?
No, that was before Mozeliak.
I
That
was
was
gonna
before
say,
Mozeliak.
yeah.
He's
That
got
was
one.
Jocker
He's
Day.
got one.
Are you?
He's got one world.
Yeah,
That's all
yes.
late 90s.
I could have sworn I heard that on
No, that's
ESPN today.
unless he was
that
part
was
of
John
Walt
might
have been-
Jockey's group.
He might have been
that
in
was-
charge of like the scouting department at that time.
Yeah.
Which I think is where he was. He's got one World Series title and several playoff, but it's really diminished since 2019. But he's got one World Series title, 2011, to his name, and just one other World Series.
I say 14.
appearance, 2012.
14.
14.
Was it 14, Zach? Yeah, I think it was 14.
I think.
Yeah.
It had to be an
what
even numbered year because the Giants all win in odd numbered years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's true too. But I mean, I'm looking at the downfall, the tailspin that this team has been in last 5 years, maybe. I mean, they have they just there's and they hit a great. I mean, once again, 101, and I think they do a great job in breaking some of this down. But their scouting department is so bad since Luna left to go to Houston.
Yeah,
Well,
and there's no structure to it either.
John
Exactly.
Mozeliak. Hey, no, John Mozeliak drafted Albert Pujols in the 13th round of the 1999 draft while serving as the scouting director for the St. Louis Cardinals. Boom.
Yeah. Okay, scouting director, but he
Scouting,
wasn't in
not
charge.
GM.
He didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't make the ultimate
He
draft.
was the one.
It's-
he
it's
was
like
the
giving-
one.
It's like giving Randy Flores credit for all of the other drafts that they've had.
Right.
Okay.
So
He was also the scouting director that oversaw the drafting of Yadier Molina. So
Yeah.
I would say he's done, and I hate Mozeliak, guys. I'm telling you, those are two things that he had a big hand in that was good for the franchise.
Yeah.
Other than that, I want to punch him in the face. But I'm just saying.
well, I mean, the biggest thing I give him credit for is that 2011 World Series. But I still maintain that was a lot of Tony La Russa more than anything
Oh,
else.
there is absolutely no doubt about that.
So
I mean, wasn't that still all Walt Jockey's guys?
For the
Yeah,
most part, I
it was-
think it was.
mixed in, a couple of guys mixed in, but yeah, I mean, they're all guys that he, as part of the scouting department, all brought in at one point or
Right.
scouted. But it was Jockey's team at the tail end of that window.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay,
here's the
so
thing, guys.
go ahead.
Here's the thing. As long as the Dodgers are going to spend money hand over fist, there is not a team in the National League that is going to come close to them. And teams like St. Louis, if they want to start running with the Joneses, they better start figuring out how to spend money like the Joneses. And the Dodgers, you look, their rotation is insane. But then their 6 through 10 could be a whole starting rotation for another major league team that would win a ton of ball games.
Well, that's the Cardinals are
Yeah.
never going to.
I mean,
be
it's
able
an
to
arms
spend
race.
Dodger money.
Right.
No,
It's
but
how
you
they
can-
spend their money.
I mean, it's
You could still pick up some guys. Not picking up anybody in free agency. I'm sorry, that's a travesty. That is letting your organization down. That is letting your baseball fans down. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's only going to be 3 times that Busch Stadium is going to be sold out this year. Opening day and the 2 days that the Savannah Bananas are playing there. Which I will be there for the Friday night game of the Savannah Bananas.
I'm going Friday night too.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, that may be the only 3 times that stadium is sold out this year.
Yeah, maybe
and that's
when
a
the
shame.
Yankees and Cubs, I will say maybe when the Cubs come to town, that might be it. Mostly
I don't
Cubs
know.
fans.
Yeah, well, mostly Cubs fans. Yeah, exactly.
Which will make me sick to my stomach.
Somebody's phone's
Yeah,
dinging.
who's danging?
Yeah.
Jarvis.
No, I turned the sound off, but no.
So, but
He's watching the
My daughter played Bourbon tonight. They got another win. They're got 3 wins now.
Good for them.
good for them.
So, yeah, same as us.
And that's but yeah, I mean, but let's dive into the whole Edmonds thing. I mean,
Well, I'm going to say this about the Edmonds thing. It proves what we've been saying on this show for almost 3 years now, that the climate of the Cardinals is not the same. When people like Jim Edmonds and Chris Carpenter and Ozzie Smith and all these legends are not being allowed to be at spring training and not being allowed to put their baseball knowledge, their Cardinal way, or whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't know what you call it now, Cardinal dismay. But I mean, it's awful. These guys should be welcomed. They should be like, you should be. I don't care what you think of Jim Edmonds as a commentator, but as a baseball guy, he knows crap. And just like he said in his interview, and he said, if you don't want me telling you that your pitcher's tipping pitches, then you know what? Basically, screw you. You know,
I'll stay down and be a guard. I'll learn how to be a gardener in Tennessee.
And it's a shame. So no wonder not recently his house went up for sale. Now we're seeing why. I mean, this kind of shit. Oh, sorry. This kind of stuff.
There's the one. This
kind of stuff has been going on for a long time in this organization.
Yeah.
Why did Matt Holliday show up and then leave and never come back? Why has Yadier Molina not shown his face around here? Why are our Cardinal greats who made what we know as Cardinal baseball, and we're talking recent Cardinal baseball, and you're not letting these guys come in? And Jim Edmonds knows baseball. He was a hell of a hitter. He was a hell of a center fielder. And if you want to, I don't know what their plans are in center field. I mean, it'd probably be one of those young guys. But to get everyone I think they need to get in the lineup, I think you have to put Lars Nudebar in center field to get everyone on the field. It's if we have to keep Arenado. So you don't want Jim Edmonds, one of the best center fielders to ever play the game, to help these people? What is going on? You know what that makes me feel? That makes me feel like you have a manager that's insecure. You have front office that's insecure. You have people that don't want people to question. You want yes men. All you want is someone to say yes, and that's it.
Well, I'm going to tell you, this past weekend.
Sorry, I ran over.
No, but this past weekend, and I'm going to go back. I'm going to piggyback off what you said. I went down to the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame induction. My good friend Corey Riggs was inducted into the Hall of Fame. Well, Matt Adams was inducted.
That's awesome. You got a picture with him. That was awesome.
Yeah. So we sat there and talked for about 5 minutes or so, and he was terrific. And he's good to coach in the Padres minor league system at El Paso.
Wonder why.
Well,
I wonder what great manager we let go is over there. Go ahead.
And he said, listen, it's great that I'm going to get an opportunity. He goes, I wanted to come to St. Louis. I want to coach here, in the minor league program. I just don't think it's going to work right now. So Schulte asked me to come and work in their, minor league system. And he said, it's a great opportunity for me. He says, and then he goes, I still hope in a couple of years that I can come back to the Cardinals and be in the minor league system. But for him to say that, now this is on Sunday, and then the Edmonds things come out on Monday. Boy, did that put a lot of the puzzle pieces together on what is really truly going on with that organization and in the lower area of Busch Stadium. And by the way, Johnny Damon is a whack job like he always has been. He had the blue Hawaiian shirt on getting in his induction ceremony. I mean, he was well spoken. He was terrific, but he was typical Johnny Damon. But it was really cool down at the Sports Hall of Fame. But yeah, getting to visit with Matt for about 5 minutes was really cool. And he was terrific. He talked to anybody that walked up. He sat there and talked to him for a while, that's really cool stuff.
It just seems. Go ahead, Kevin. You haven't said
there's
anything in a while.
There's an ego component to this, and Jason hit the nail on the head about being insecure, both in the front office and in the dugout administration, managerial, and the coaching staff. There's a reason they didn't want McGuire to come in, because he doesn't teach what they want to teach.
Yep.
But there's a way to bring that in and still not put him in situations. If you don't want him going against what you're wanting to teach, that's fine. And you have every right to do that as running a ball club. But to bring him in to maybe talk mental aspects of hitting and to just be around these players, and the same goes for Edmonds, and the same goes for insert Cardinal great name here. You could pick any of them and they can come in and do that. You can still have them be around to help teach that Cardinals way, but they obviously don't want that to be part of it anymore. They want to separate from that for some reason. And like they don't want to be coattail riders. It's like
but that's
like
not St. Louis, Kevin. That is not.
I'm
that
just
is
saying
not.
what I'm thinking is going on.
I know. And I'm saying that's not Midwestern views. That's not how we do things here. We want our guys come back. I'll take Mizzou for example. You think they're gonna kick Anthony Peeler out if he came back and wanted to fucking help? Oh gosh, sorry. Sorry, that was too much.
And that was the bad one. That should count.
That was the bad. Yeah,
okay. It was and an ing at it. But anyway, do you think for a second that those? I mean, that's what I don't understand. Where's the disconnect?
Well, it comes across like, and they've said it on 101 for a long time, is that they keep everything close to the vest and they're not explaining themselves to the fan base. And I think that's what's hard for the fans. For us, is like, go ahead and explain it. Like, if you just go ahead and lay out, this is your philosophy, this is what you're seeing, this is what you're wanting to do. If you just did that, we might not agree with it, but at least we can be like, okay, we understand, but we have to sit here and guess and second guess and think, why are you doing the things that you're doing? And everything just comes off as disingenuous to us as the people that are taking their hard-earned money and spending.
I ain't taking any of my
whether
money.
it's going to
3 years.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Years,
Not taking any of mine either. But anybody that's still, for whatever reason, wanting to go. And Kevin, you've said it over the years too, and Jim, when you talk about in the St. Louis area, like, why would you even want to go down there and risk it with everything that's going on down there, And so it's like you have to give the fans something, and it's just like, I don't know, they just keep taking stuff away, and it's like, all right, well, they said it on the radio, and they talked about how what Chris has always said. It's not the fear of hating, it's the fear of apathy.
Yeah.
And that's what they seem to think, is like, there's just a lot of people that are like, okay, well, I'll do something else. I'll take my time elsewhere.
You
know, the
mentioned
one
something,
thing,
Zach, that really rings true between a couple of scenarios we have in St. Louis. You talked about the transparency of the front office, and that's a huge difference as to why Blues fans can understand where the Blues are right now, because Doug Armstrong is transparent about what
Yeah.
he's trying to do with their roster and how he's trying to get there, and the fact that he will make changes if something's not working, but also not to the point of trying to not get rid of the core, like Brandon Saad, the issue with Brandon Saad and releasing him. There's a huge difference between that and what's happening with the dead silence that is coming out of the Cardinals front office about their lack of activity.
You know what I thought was striking, and one of the things and I don't know if you guys have ever been to one of the ceremonies down in Springfield, but they do a video for every inductee, and normally they get 3 people to speak on behalf of the inductee, and so Matt Adams gets up there, his college coach from Slippery Rock, Matt Holliday, and Mike Matheny. Apparently, and I heard this through the grapevine, they reached out to the DeWitts and to Mosaic to speak, and they would not. Come to your own conclusions, kids.
That's
Yeah. I mean, Holiday was great. Matt was great. Matheny is such a class dude. I mean, and the Slippery Rock coach
I'm glad
is
you brought up
terrific.
Matheny. You bring up Matheny. He loses his job. That DeWallet says this is not satisfactory for Cardinals and Cardinals fans and Cardinals Nation, but we're going to allow the crap that's going on now and say that it's okay.
Yeah.
And
they're crying poor mouth. They're crying poor mouth that while they're at it, when they're making money during the season. I don't know how busy Ballpark Village is in the off season because I don't go downtown. I'm sorry, I just don't do it. But I don't know how they got to be making some money. But I'm going to go back to Kevin's point about what Army's, how transparent the Blues are. I know the other two won't want to hear this, but St. Louis City, I mean, they let their manager go mid-season last year, and that's the one thing I think City is very transparent in what they're doing and how they're doing it, and it's refreshing to see the Blues do it, City do it, but the longest-standing stinking team in St. Louis and downtown can't be straight up with their fans is absolutely ludicrous.
I'm still not 100% sold that there should be some blame put on Marmol on this one. I think 95% of the blame goes to the front office in roster management and roster building and the power that they actually give the dugout coaching staff to do things. I don't think he's allowed to do anything without it getting rubber stamped by Mo.
Well, because if he does, he's going to be like Schilt. He's going to be out of job. And because if you go against Mosaic and any of this front office BS that is going on, they're going to get rid of you. I mean, and think about players that speak out, and then all of a sudden they're gone. You can't say much, and it's just not a good culture. And what's it look like on the outside? Who wants to come here? Nobody. Nobody wants to come here right now. And
especially now with Arenado wanting out in
15 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, everybody wanted to come here. Now, nobody wants to come here.
Well, I think we've beat this dead horse way too much because it's just gotten
every week.
I know we do, and it gets all of our blood pressure up. I had to retake my blood pressure pills before I came on the show tonight. So
maybe that dead horse can play third base for us now.
Maybe you never know. So, well, why don't we do this? Why don't we take a break? When we come back, why don't we talk about college basketball? Some things happened over the weekend that were very interesting. One of the best days of college basketball I think we've seen in an awfully long time. And then some shenanigans at the end of Arizona State, Arizona, which I think is some very interesting talking points. So we'll talk about that. Then in our last segment, we'll talk about the NBA and that trade that happened in
Go Lake Hey, Jim, I don't know if you know this or not, but there's kind of a big game that's happening this weekend. We gotta talk a little bit about that.
Well, and we got to talk a little bit about that as well. So we'll take a break. When we come back,
Let's
we'll talk a
go,
little college
Chef.
basketball. Then first segment, we'll go NBA real quick, talk about trade. Then we'll get our picks for
guess
that
what,
game.
Jim, hold on. You can say we're going to do whatever, but I bet it doesn't end up being that way.
Because it's going to go off the rails like it does every stinking week.
That's what
depends on which button I push today.
Well, let's push the right button. Let's go to break. We'll come back here. It's the Coach's Box. Call it like we see it. It's episode 224, the big game and the big lane. We'll be right back after this.
I'm the guy sitting next to your girl on the kiss cam.
And this game just got a lot more interesting.
Sheila? Mom?
Fire!
And if you don't have the right home coverage, you might have to kiss your savings goodbye. Let's go, beat it. So get Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem. Yeah, like me.
Bro!
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
It's Between Takes with Daikin and Dave Mars.
Good. All right, next set up.
Hey, Dave, we got another question about energy savings. And this is a good one.
Yeah, efficiency is so important.
Didn't you just talk with Daikin about this?
They said energy efficiency is the key to a happy marriage. She gets the temperature, I get the savings.
Good to know. I'll tell them to check with their local Daikin dealer.
All right, back to one.
Give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com. In the hobby of collecting, check out Elite Collectibles, open 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. They carry a wide variety of sports cards, trading cards, magic cards, Pokemon cards, and other non-sports cards. Need some supplies? They also have sleeves, top loaders, boxes, and much, much more. They have online auctions every Tuesday at 6 p.m. and also do bulk grading submissions to SGC and CGC. Check out Elite Collectibles at 1258 Main Street in Imperial, Missouri. You can also view their entire inventory at www.elitecollecting.com.
You need new entertainment. You need full-length content. You need the Real Fresh channel. Hey, I'm Health Fresh from the Real Fresh channel. Subscribe today on YouTube. We have new content. We are a network of podcasters putting out new stuff every single day. Whether you need sports, pro or college, whether you need comedies, whether you need pop culture, whether you need wrestling. We've got so much content on there. Gaming. Check it out. Live, not live. We've got it all. The Real Fresh channel. Subscribe today.
And we welcome you back to episode 224, the big game and the big lane. I'm Jim Powers and the rest of the crew here, except for Chris Miller, who, as Jarvis called earlier, somebody was going to ghost us tonight. Well, Chris ghosted us tonight. So, but glad to have everybody here on the Coach's Box.
Stop. You can't even, at least he told us.
I can't talk. I can't talk.
At least we
you.
had warning, Jim.
Well, last Thursday I fell asleep after a bunch of games. I fell asleep and didn't wake up.
God, that means you're just getting old and old.
Yes, yes, I am. So I'm right there with you. Okay, so college basketball this past weekend.
Look, he jumped away from that room.
Oh, I know how to pick my battles, and I'm not going to pick that battle because Jason, you are correct. You are correct, my friend. But this past Saturday was probably one of the best college basketball Saturdays that we've seen in a while. Mizzou gets a huge victory. In the top 25. Unfortunately, they lost tonight, but they played extremely well. And I love what Jimmy Dykes said tonight about Mizzou. He thinks they can make a very, very long run into the NCAA tournament.
I'll take a 4-point loss at Tennessee tonight, and they battled their butts off. You got to and so many people were questioning Dennis Gates last year, and I kept saying, nope, this dude knows what he's doing. He had a lot of injuries last year, a lot. I mean, Grill didn't play crap, and they've played. They're just so much fun to watch. They just get after it, and it's a different guy almost every night you watch them, and they got some young freshmen that are contributing, and they're just fun.
It took an absolute A+ game from Tennessee tonight to beat them by 4 on their own floor. Tennessee just could not miss. There was a section
early. There was they were
hitting everything, and they're a team that only shoot 30% from the 3-point line, and I think they knocked down like 8 straight 3-pointers.
Dylan texted me and said, "Man, Tennessee can't miss." And I mean, a game where Bates misses 2 free throws. I mean, I'm sure Mizzou missed more than 2, and we only lost by 4. But that's one of the downfalls of Mizzou in some areas is the free throw shooting. Other than Bates, he was leading the nation at 95-point-something% tonight. And, of course, the announcers, while I'm watching the game, this was before the show, and I cussed at him several times. I knew it as soon as it came out of his mouth. I'm like, he's going to miss. And, of course, he did. Then the next time, he missed again. They're like, yeah, the first 2 free throws. Shut up. It burns my butt how much national guys hate Mizzou.
Well, no, I'm going to hold on. I'm going to say this. They spoke very, very highly of Mizzou
because they've had to. You have to.
Well, yeah,
they are a-holes when it comes to Mizzou. Period.
I will say I've watched some of the SEC network stuff on Mizzou, and in the past they haven't. They really pretended like Mizzou wasn't even part of the league, especially basketball wise. But this year, they have been very high on them.
Get an ESPN game and see.
Yes, and when you get to the SEC network and some of the studio shows that they aren't surprised with the win at Mississippi State. It's a good win, but they weren't surprised that Mizzou was able to go in and get a win like that. Some of them even said that Mizzou had a really good chance to go in and get a win at Tennessee, and they put themselves in a position to do that. I think they're going to finish top 4 in the league and get a double one of the double buys in the NCAA in the SEC tournament. Well, with the 2 new schools, is it still a double buy?
Yes, I believe it is.
Okay.
Dude, the SEC, and I know we talk about it in football all the time to Jim's, dismay, but that SEC in basketball is pretty salty.
They're the deepest league. It's the deepest league in both sports.
No,
they're thinking there's talk that the SEC is going to get 13 teams in right now, and with
that is a crap ton.
It's a record. It would be a record since they went to the 68 now. But it would be a record.
I don't count those other 4, but go ahead.
That they would be the most from one conference to ever make it, and that's rivaling some of the huge, years that the Big East had back in the heyday when they would put up 10, 11 teams into the tournament.
The SEC is fun basketball to watch now. I mean, and Mizzou has signature wins. You go to Florida and get a win. I mean, they have played tough against top tier competition. I mean, you throw Illinois game out. I mean, that's a rivalry game, but they beat Kansas when they were number one. I mean, they're a tough out. And when everyone's clicking on that team, no one wants that. Hey, no one wants them. No one wants them. When the tournament rolls around, no one wants them.
And the fact that, that Dennis Gates has been able to, at times, play upwards of 10 or 11 guys in his rotation.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not all equal. He's got some depth that can eat some injury time.
Sometimes he plays too
he
many,
overdoes
though,
it.
Yeah,
but
so
but
I'm
Tennessee,
looking at
Tennessee is the number 4 team in the country, and they are 6-4 in the conference.
I'm just
4
going
already.
there because I am glad you said that there, Kevin, because I'm looking at the updated bracketology from Joe Lunardi.
So that'd be interesting.
Right now, they've got Mizzou as a number 5 seed in the West. Guess who the number 1 seed is in the West?
Oh boy,
Tennessee.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Right now, the region, he's got Mizzou, and this would be in Denver, which sucks, but still, you got Mizzou playing UC Irvine, and then Wisconsin is the 4 seed playing Arkansas State. So that's what Lenardi's got as the bracketology. But yeah, the top 4 teams, that he's got Auburn. How about this? He's got 3 SEC teams as number 1 seeds right now. Auburn, Bama, Tennessee. And here's the scary thing. Sitting at a number 2 seed is Florida. That's just insanity where you've got 4 teams in the top 8 in the NCAA tournament.
And it was just weird because Mizzou made Florida not look very good at all when they played down there.
And Tennessee did the same thing to Florida on Saturday. I mean, Tennessee, here's the thing. Tennessee did it with 7 scholarship players.
Yeah.
Because they had 2 starters that didn't play, and their big picked up his second foul 4 minutes into the ball game. So really, you beat Florida with 6.5 dudes. So
well, and you guys know from coaching, like basketball is a lot to do with matchups, and with everybody running man. I mean, you're finding mismatches, whether it's guard to big to guard. I mean, you're trying to find these mismatches where you're putting your guy on an island potentially against the other guy's worst defender. So
that almost sounds like NBA stuff, Zach. But anyway.
So that's number 1. Number 2, Calipari goes back into Kentucky. He gets booed, and then he has the last laugh walking out of there with a monster victory for the Hogs, down at Rupp. And I mean, say what you want about Calipari. I still think he's one of the best college coaches that we've seen in our lifetime.
No,
he's that good.
But he's a heck of a recruiter and got a heck of a lot of good players.
Every part of coaching, Calipari is top notch at, and it comes to recruiting, in-game coaching, working officials. He's just top notch at it, and it all combines into finding ways. He gets teams 2 or 3 more wins a year just by himself.
So you had that. And then I'm going to, let me see. What hat is that you're wearing there, Sparky, Zach? That's the S. So the Dukies.
You're such a homer.
Well, what they did to North Carolina was impressive. Now, here's the thing. If you're North Carolina, how far are you going to ride Hubie?
Not too much longer. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, when Jarvis is talking about the depth of the SEC. I mean, the 90s, it was the ACC. You go back to the 80s, Big East, but the early 2000s, and North Carolina had a lot to do with that. I don't know. I don't know why that they've kind of fallen off, but I mean, the ACC just is not what it used to be.
No, I agree with that. But I agree that at some point you got to look to make a change. And I know the guys love playing for them, but when you're just not getting it done and you get your brakes blown off like you did against your arch rival, that's not gonna that you're not gonna be employed very much longer in that situation. And I'm looking at the bracketology, and honestly, I don't see North Carolina in this tournament.
No, I don't think they're having a good enough year. They're going to have to wind up winning the ACC tournament to get in. But you brought up Duke. How good is Cooper Flagg? I mean, a freshman. I mean, he had all the hype in high school. Man, he is just fun to watch, and he just keeps getting better. And he's a young 18. Like he was playing the first few games at 17 years old. And, playing against guys that are probably late 20s with all this COVID and NIL or extra years, this, that, and the other. But, I mean, he
NIL, that dude's raking in NIL.
Oh,
man. And he is an absolute stud.
He's a freak.
Well, even with all the money he will make at Duke with NIL, he's done after this year, right? He's going to the league after this year.
Yeah, he's got to.
Gotta be.
Yeah.
I would think so. And that's the sad part. That's the sad part with all of this is that think of what he would have been, and think of again any team that you root for. But what would his legacy be in college basketball and Duke if he would be that type of a player that stayed, all 4 years or at least 3 years? I mean, you're probably putting him in the upper echelon that you have all of the other great Duke players, but he's just going to be one of these, I don't know, Zion type guys where you're there one and done and you're making your money in the NBA. That's just the thing that absolutely is awful with college basketball. And we've said it. You just don't know the guys. I mean, everybody's transferring and everybody's one and done, and you're not rooting. You can't invest in the guys that you used to, that they're like, man, this guy is just this career Tiger or this career Blue Devil or whatever. It just doesn't happen anymore. I think that takes a little bit of college basketball.
And of course, here comes Mr. Ghost himself. Hi, Casper. How are you?
Yeah, you can suck it. I don't even care.
Well, hey, Jarvis is.
We've better late than never.
Well, Jarvis has already put us into the rated E conversation tonight.
Oh my God! I did not. I said ing and shit. I mean, come on.
Well, I mean, there's nothing like trying to answer some professional emails, and I get this little message, and it's like, so we might have to. It's like, oh.
Kevin's being way too prim and proper.
Nobody's listening. Anyway.
This is a family show, damn it. You can't say shit, damn, ass, any of this stuff.
You get in the movies you get one F-bomb for PG-13.
No, that was in the 80s.
That was in the 80s.
I remember showing Ferris Bueller's Day Off to one of my health classes. I said, listen, guys, have none of you guys ever seen this? No. All right, if we all score this on our final exam, I will bring it in and watch it. I was leaving Couch High School anyway, so I didn't really care. So I brought it in, and I'm like, oh, dear God. That had the F word in it. I didn't even realize it. I've watched it on
Ferris Bueller Day Off. That's one of the greatest movies ever. And
so is.
And coming from a St. Pius worker, I don't care. You're going to think I'm explicit? Whatever.
All right, so last thing
I've never been kicked out of a game, bro.
Oh Lord, here we go.
Go ahead.
Me neither.
Talking about getting kicked out of games.
Go
Talking
ahead.
about getting kicked out of games or just games ending in a really, really not fun way. How about Arizona State the other night? St. Louis dude Caleb Love ended the ball game, gets
27
headbutted.
points.
Yeah, but that kind of started the whole unraveling of Bobby Hurley. So Hurley pulls his kids off the court at the end of the game, doesn't do the handshake line, and then basically decides that he's going to go scorched earth in his post game. Says that there was a lot of unnecessary chatter coming from the Arizona players, which happens in every game on the collegiate level.
Wait, are you kidding me? Like we're really gonna say, as a coach, you're gonna say there was too much chatter. They were talking to my players too much.
And he said that it wasn't policed the correct way. So he ends his presser, guys.
Oh
Ends his presser with one of the all-time, I'm sorry, but one of the all-time douchebag comments that you're ever going to make.
Whoa, Jim.
And he basically says, well, what he's got, I know. He basically goes, I have a vote for all conference, and I will tell you right now who is not getting my vote, a.k.a. Caleb Love. When Caleb Love is arguably one of the best players in that league right now. I mean, say what you want about the handshake line. I just don't know if it's worth it anymore. I know it's about the sportsmanship thing. I actually saw a video from, back home from Ohio for a game last night, handshake line, and all of a sudden bodies are flying. I mean, at some point, I think there needs to be a discussion about the whole handshake line thing. And I in a way, I understand Hurley's one point of view, but don't go scorched earth in the post-game presser about it.
Wait, guys, don't you think that happens in high school games too?
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah. So I mean, we got kids who are going to say stuff to each other, whether you want them to or not. And then the next thing you know, you got to take care of it. I mean, I think it creates more problems than it is sportsmanship. Might as well just go back to old COVID rules where everybody waves at each other and be done. Bye.
Yeah, I mean, I hear that happens when coaches tell other coaches they're bringing freshmen and sophomores, and other coaches don't. That kind of stuff happens, man.
That's okay. Hey, well, we played the third quarter last night with 2 sophomores, 2 freshmen, and a junior out on the court. And you know what, Jason? If we played again, maybe I just play all those guys too. All right, everyone.
All those people.
Well, I got to worry about that. We're not going to play you guys. So
all those people. I don't care. People you mentioned played.
Don't care. About? Nope, sure didn't. But that's okay.
Hey,
it's
Kevin.
All right.
Kevin.
I don't care.
You see who's picking the fights now? It's not me and Jarvis. Me and Jarvis are actually getting along and agreeing tonight.
Well,
Miller comes on the show. Miller comes on the show for 5 minutes.
I didn't say anything.
Throws a 5-gallon.
Really?
Boom,
Am I doing
right
what?
On the fire.
What did I say? I said that happens in handshake lines. Okay. That's it. I was thinking of other examples, but that's fine too. Okay.
Well, then this feeds right into my next comment as of why we get rid of handshake lines just because adults can't figure out how to act like adults and take care of what they need to with their kids.
That's one thing if it's adults, but another thing if it's kids and it causes problems.
Okay, you sound like, oh God, so many things I want to say.
Well, I would
not yet.
As a coach, you cannot control every single thing that your players do. You can't.
You can. What?
I go, believe me, I can threaten them, I can tell them, I can stand by them, and they'll still smack the guy or push the guy or do something stupid because they're immature teenagers.
You're not wrong. But what I'm saying is, but that's no reason to completely abandon the concept of that handshake line.
Oh, I agree. I think it's
right.
It's like The Last Dance. When the Detroit Pistons walked off the court like little, you know what they were at the time they walked off the court.
Now you're censoring
when
yourself.
Jordan lost to the Pistons.
I was just going to say, Dad decides to show up on the show, and now he's going to censor himself.
when Detroit beat the Bulls, Jordan went and shook all their hands.
Mm-hmm.
It's a respect for the game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, West County could have been pricks to us the other night. It was a chippy game. It went back and forth. You know, they didn't agree with some calls, this and that, whatever. But they walked through the line, and there was some tough fouls. One of my kids screened one of their guys, and no foul was called because it wasn't a foul. And their kid got flattened on the screen. And both teams after the game were like, yep, we're men. This is right. We shook hands. Man, kids got, well, you know what it stems to, and you know what I'm going to say. It's not the kids. It's people behind the kids that cause these problems, in my opinion.
Well, it starts at home. It starts at home because if I
I knew you would do it, so I'd let you.
Oh, I know. Hey, if I done anything to embarrass my parents, it doesn't matter mom or dad or anybody else. I mean, I'd had to deal with it when I got home. So the level of how you're supposed to act and this is appropriate. That was all dictated to me as a young, as a teenager and as a child growing up, that you don't do anything to embarrass your family starting there. And then it was, don't do anything to embarrass the team. And it was like, oh yeah. And by the way, don't do anything to embarrass yourself. So those things are all taught at home.
Or
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, your family name, and not only your family name, this name right here, the name that's on all of our jerseys. That's the name that I'm representing. I mean, I'm the head coach of Herculaneum. So when one of my kids do something stupid, that reflects on me. Like, I don't teach that. I don't teach my kids to act like that. They know how they're supposed to act, but they're teenagers and they're going to do stupid things. And nowadays, they do stupid things and they record themselves doing stupid things. Could you imagine if we all would have had that? Oh, gosh. Thank you, Lord. 80s. Awesome.
Well,
oh, shoot.
It's hard. Jim, I understand what you're saying.
You have to win. Hard. Well, you've got to win. You've got to win with grace, and you've got to lose with grace, right? Mm-hmm. And that's part of why sports is so important, because it's the life lessons. Again, good, bad, and ugly. Hey, you know what? You lost. You lost. Go be a man. Go shake their hands. Or hey, you won. Don't rub it in their face.
I'm coming at you, Zach. Come on.
Oh, gee.
That's fine and dandy. That's fine and dandy. But when you're beating a team 57-11, you might want to call the dogs off, right? You might want to not be. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
And that's where the lines get blurred, is when stuff like that happens. Mm-hmm. Or you're up 50,
right?
And I got my scrubs out there, and you bring your starting five back in the fourth quarter. You're up 50. What are you doing? And then you're mad. Then you're mad because one of my players tackles yours. Well, what are you expecting?
I hear you. Hey, that's when we talk about all those teams that win like 100-2. I mean, again, what point are you trying to prove? And it goes to the just because you can doesn't mean you should. But here's the thing. I mean, you made your comment. The ethics. Okay, well, here's the thing. Who defines the ethics? We're in 2025. We live in this world of moral relativity, right? And so the rule book that we grew up in, obviously the Cardinal ways, that book's been burned. So if you throw out ethics, apparently that book's been burned too when you're talking about sports and ethics. So again, Chris, since you just got on, you can do your talking here. Who makes that? Who makes that definition? You know what I mean? Like who makes that? Who makes that? No, I'm saying who makes that definition? Who makes that call?
I'm going to step in. It's my call, is my moral compass as a head coach in my program, to the best of my ability, to be able to, like, I can't control everything that they do, but I can react and respond to when those things happen in the moment. In many instances, it's the ever present. Sometimes you just got to shoot a hostage. So if somebody does something in the public, I'm going to react in a calm way in public, but I'm going to appear to be handling that in public to the best of my ability. I can't control how the other coach reacts to how I do it or how they do it, but I want everybody else on my team to see me react to that so they know in that moment we're going to handle this a different way.
So, I mean, I think that's, if it's my kids, I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to handle it, and we'll handle it however I feel necessary to a degree in public. So that way everybody knows it's unacceptable. And then I'll deal with it in-house and how I want to move forward and address it. I do think shooting a hostage does very well as far as setting the tone for your program, because I agree with Jason. They're going to do things whether you like it or not, because they're emotional, hormone driven, not fully developed frontal lobe ran kids that will make poor decisions in the moment without seeing the repercussions of those decisions. But as adults, it's important that we don't do things to, instigate this.
Ignite it.
Yeah,
Ignite
it's really yeah, because it's kind of like being up 52-20 going into the fourth quarter and having your starters in for a little bit because it's senior night and deciding we want them to score a few more points and take some shots, on their happy night. That could have been addressed very poorly by the opposing coach, who decided it was more important to win with class or lose with class other than to be a sore loser because, they obviously earned the loss. So in turn, it's one of those things where, I don't want my kids to show poor sportsmanship when they're winning, nor when they're losing either. We want to try to have a representation. So if we feel like there's anything that needs to be discussed, we discuss it in private.
And it's a
good answer.
Line. It's a fine line.
Yeah.
I can tell you,
it's a hard line.
Well, and okay, I can tell you back being a head coach, and when we've had parent meetings and things like that, like I've addressed that type of philosophical issue, and I've made it a point to say, listen, I've been on the wrong end of getting whooped where the starters are out there and they're still shooting threes and they're up 50 and this, that, and the other and still pressing all that. And I said, I know how that feels and I know how that makes the kids feel. And I said, I'm not going to do that. I refuse to do that in this program. And so if you are okay with it, then you, like Chris says, then go apply, go be a head coach and run the program the way that you see fit. But I've always said, we're not going to embarrass people. There's a right way. There's a right way to be competitive and to continue to play hard without embarrassing going the other end. Now, and embarrassing the team that way.
I'm gonna throw you some variables on all this. So, and I've had this happen, and I've been on both ends of the spectrum. People, I've got 3 wins.
What spectrum?
Yes,
the spectrum of winning and losing.
Like I was talking about the internet because I had to switch. It was so bad.
I don't use spectrum, but anyway.
I
but I thought you were talking about like
spectrum sucks.
I thought you were saying I was. Never mind. Anyway.
You
know what I was
You've
saying.
been bad. You've been a bad boy. You've been a bad boy.
So you're on. I've been on both sides of that thing. Here's the thing that aggravates me. So you're up 30. We're heading into the fourth quarter. So you pull everybody. You put in the guy that everyone cheers for if he scores, all that. And then said team you're beating starts pressing them with their starting 5.
Right.
And then it's like you go from up 30 and it's 25. Then you look up and it's 20. Then it's down to 15, and you're like, okay, well, you asked for it. Guys, go back out. Here's my starting 5. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't. When I first got to Hergy, we didn't win a whole lot of games, and I was getting my butt kicked. I didn't throw my starters out there when the other team conceded. The other team conceded. I got my sophomore and freshman in. You know what I'm saying? So
you don't press the subs.
No, you don't press subs.
Not when you're losing. Don't press the subs. Sorry.
No, unless
when the game's out of hand, you don't.
Unless
press
you've done it the whole night. Have you done it the whole game?
No.
You still
don't Zach, because that would defend
if
your
you press the whole game.
No, listen, that would go against your argument with teams beating somebody 105-2, where you're like, well, you can't do that. Well, if you're pressing the whole game and you press the subs too, when it obviously at that point when the game is in hand, then I would say that you are being a hypocrite with your comment, and you can't do that. But that's. Just saying, in that sense, no. I think when the game it's out of hand and one coach is already waving the white flag, then I think it's done, and you just play as you need to play. That's it. Get the game through. It could be a lot worse.
There's another component to this that I think gets overlooked a lot, and that's the relationship that coaches can have with each other, especially when they're within the same conference, which generally means rivalry games in a sense. We all know how the other ones coach. We all know what they will do and not do. So I will know how Jason will respond to something when playing and coaching against him. Like I would think that maybe you guys would know the same thing about me. So I know that if he does something, if he puts certain kids in, I know that, and I am going to respond accordingly because I have developed a good relationship with a fellow coach in doing that situation, because it's what's best for the game and it's what's best for the kids in the school. I don't think that's done on a mass level as it used to be before, where you get to know the coach across town or in your conference or in a school, neighboring school, where if that happens, you have those conversations. Where this shouldn't have happened in Arizona versus Arizona State, because they've been in the same conference for a long time.
Yes.
They have those meetings together. And they should know each other, and they should have understood this about their programs and each other's programs.
I agree with that. So, all right, well, let's take a break. Our last segment coming up. Let's talk about talk about the big game. You guys want to talk about the Chiefs and the Eagles, and we'll talk about them. I don't want to talk about the NBA, so whatever.
No, we said no. Shut up. We said.
We said what? We said
that there is going to be a NBA discussion. One of the biggest trades ever in the NBA happened. We have to talk about it.
Who cares?
Just because it's the Lakers. Oh, plus the second one. Let's not forget Jimmy Butler today too.
Yeah.
He went to the Can you believe the Warriors? I can't.
I would much rather talk about the Super Bowl than talk about the NBA.
We got to talk about the Super Bowl too.
We'll talk about the Super Bowl too.
That's what I want. So, all right, let's take a break. We'll be back here in a second.
I came once in 2 months, but that's.
I'm an overpowered leaf blower, and I'm not exactly street legal.
And if you don't have the right auto coverage, this could really blow your budget. So get Allstate, save money, and be protected from mayhem. Yeah, like me.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
It's Between Takes with Daikin and Dave Mars.
Good. All right, next set up.
Hey, Dave, we got another question about energy savings. And this is a good one.
Yeah, efficiency is so important.
Didn't you just talk with Daikin about this?
They said energy efficiency is the key to a happy marriage. She gets the temperature, I get the savings.
Good to know. I'll tell them to check with their local Daikin dealer.
All right, back to one.
Give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com. In the hobby of collecting, check out Elite Collectibles, open 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. They carry a wide variety of sports cards, trading cards, magic cards, Pokemon cards, and other non-sports cards. Need some supplies? They also have sleeves, top loaders, boxes, and much, much more. They have online auctions every Tuesday at 6 p.m. and also do bulk grading submissions to SGC and CGC. Check out Elite Collectibles at 1258 Main Street in Imperial, Missouri. You can also view their entire inventory at www.elitecollecting.com.
You need new entertainment. You need full-length content. You need the Real Fresh channel. Hey, I'm How Fresh from the Real Fresh channel. Subscribe today on YouTube. We have new content. We are a network of podcasters putting out new stuff every single day. Whether you need sports, pro or college, whether you need comedies, whether you need pop culture, whether you need wrestling, we've got so much content on there. Gaming, check it out. Live, not live, we've got it all. The Real Fresh channel. Subscribe today.
And we welcome you back to our final segment here tonight of the Coach's Box. Call it like we see it. Glad to have everybody here with us. So let's real quick jump into NBA and a couple big trades. And I think
we're not talking NBA.
I think the one that caught everybody off guard, and I'll let Jarvis start this three-ring circus, is what happened at like 3 in the morning on Saturday night, Sunday morning, where Jokic gets traded to the Lakers for Anthony Davis. And go ahead, Jarvis. I'll let you talk about it because honestly, I don't watch the NBA, so I really don't care.
So did we trade one street clothes for the other? I'm going to say this. I like the trade. I know that the Lakers got to have that guy for when LeBron and Bronny finally whatever they do.
Bronny.
And, you know,
like LeBron and his paper towels or something, because that's about all.
If LeBron goes,
around,
then Bronny has to be traded with him. So,
oh my God,
I think it's a great step for the Lakers. I just don't know because Luka plays zero defense. Zero.
Hey, were they in the finals last year?
He led them to the finals, yes.
Was it last year, Jason, or the year before that Dallas was in?
Last year.
Was it last year? Okay. I just couldn't remember.
Luke, because you said you hated the NBA.
They don't need to.
I mean, I like the NBA either.
It's okay. I don't.
So now how many people
actually play defense?
Zach, so now they have two players that definitely don't play defense: Luka and LeBron.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's still two of the best players on the planet, so again, I think they'll be fine.
Well, here's why they can be. Here's why they're the two best players in that league, because they don't play much basketball anymore. Because the NBA is not basketball anymore, so they're allowed to not be able to play defense and survive and actually flourish. But here's the fun thing about Luka is extremely talented. The more stories that keep coming out about him, though, from Dallas, apparently, about how overweight he is and the fact he didn't do, workouts. Now, That must be like a European thing because Jokic from Denver, he didn't do a whole lot of working out either, except for some wrist curls with booze.
12 ounces. He loved 12
definitely
ounce curls.
12-ounce curls. He might do 20-ounce curls. But it's kind of an interesting thing because I don't think that they got better defensively. And I know Dallas didn't because as soon as Davis gets a hangnail, he's done. He's gonna be sitting in street clothes. So
Okay,
he is definitely street clothes.
Since maybe the Bad Boys Detroit Pistons in the 80s, name a team that we said, oh man, they won a championship because they just were great defensively.
The Houston Rockets.
I was going to say that, or I was going to say a couple of Steph Curry's early championships.
The early Warriors did play some really good defense. They did play some really good.
But that's why they won, right?
No,
like that's why they were winning, right?
No.
Like that's why all the pundits said, well, the Warriors won because of their defense.
They won because
extremely underrated.
Because Steph Curry could shoot it from every part of the flipping area code.
Thank you.
Andre Iguodala was NBA Finals MVP. What do you think he did?
Yeah.
And because not only could Curry shoot it, they had another guy that could shoot it too.
Okay,
weird. It's like offense wins games.
And
in
I
the NBA.
can't stand that dude.
It's 24-second clock. You don't have to play defense that long anyway.
You hated Andrew Bogut?
No, I did not hate Andrew Bogut.
Who'd you hate, Jarvis?
Come on, the other shooter.
Say the name. Say the name.
Say the name. Just say it.
Why can't you guess it?
We want to hear you say the name.
The other shooter.
Clay
Thompson.
Another shooter.
Clay Thompson. I just don't like that dude.
Why?
But we wanted We wanted you to say his name so that you can. The first step is
Clay Thompson is an egotistical prick. That's why I don't like him.
Okay, trade number 2. Somebody that's been begging for the last.
Well, I know.
Months,
Butler to the Warriors.
Jimmy Butler has been begging to get out. Well, apparently he got his get out of jail card today because they're working on Kevin. What is the deal?
Well, it's 4 teams.
Is it a 4-teamer?
I think at Golden State.
I didn't see all
Butler.
of it. All I saw was the Heat are sending Jimmy Butler to the Warriors for Andrew Wiggins, Dennis Schroeder, Kyle Anderson, and a potential first-round pick.
Well, and
protected first round. Yeah,
no, PJ Tucker.
Yeah,
PJ Tucker.
And the reason they closed the deal because Phoenix, the Warriors were trying to get KD back. And Katie's like, I'm not going back there. That's the only reason this deal got done.
Well, KD's an idiot. And so
I can say, Jarvis, if you wanted somebody that's egotistical, that's the guy.
That's the dude.
I agree. And Detroit got Lindy Waters, Josh Richardson, and a second-round pick. And then Utah got Dennis Schroeder.
Who are these guys?
A bunch of no-name guys.
You guys remember the movie Major League? Remember the movie Major League and the 2 groundskeepers sitting there looking like, who are these guys?
No, they said they're shit. They're still shitty. It's all the other. It's those workers.
There's 4. We've broken this record tonight.
Hey, this guy's dead. Cross him off the list then.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I don't. I think
Butler's been doing everything imaginable, from not showing up to practices, not showing up for playing.
Why would you his way out?
Why would you? Okay, you talk about culture in the Cardinals. Why? Okay, is that not a red flag to say I'm not? I don't want this guy. I'm not trading for this guy.
Jimmy Butler's the kind of Jimmy Butler's the kind of guy that these women nowadays would want to date because I can change him. I can fix him. He's not. And it's like red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag.
I want to hear what Kevin's going to say because
Not a
his
big deal.
Facebook
Not a big deal.
expression was absolutely priceless.
So according, also part of this trade is that Butler has, with the Warriors, agreed to a
2-year,
two-year,
$111
million deal.
I thought it was 121, but whatever.
ESPN's reporting 111, $2 million, a $56 million a year deal for 2 years.
The guy's been a complete doofus for 3 months, and you're going to reward him with a 2-year deal for $56 a year
because
Hey,
he's been a
Jim, time out, Jim. We're gonna listen, Jim. We're gonna have to go back to your great state of Ohio and say two words.
You.
Deshaun Watson.
Blood pressure pills.
Come on.
Blood pressure pills right here. What? You want to talk about a clown? That's a serious clown act. Up
but
is the segue into the NFL?
Not quite yet.
Not yet.
I don't know how this is going to go.
Even though Cleveland needs to trade for Justin Tucker, but you know,
we're now off the rails, boys.
So
let's not read that one.
You know, this trade was significant when I was still up when the trade happened.
At 3 in the morning.
It was not 3 in the morning, by the way, and because I got no drunk Jim Powers text. So anyway,
because I was
so it was
anyway.
It was not 3 in the morning Central Time, buddy. It was 1 or 2. No, it was 1 or it was 12 actually. I could go back and look at my text. I had fallen asleep. I woke up and I saw it was from the New York Times, and it was a text that Luka got traded to the Lakers. I'm like, oh, it's fake news. I put my phone back down. Evidently, I fell back asleep. And my phone goes off again, and it's Dylan. Have you seen the trade? Call me. Call me when you get there. Wait.
Go to class. That's what you should have texted him.
Party right now.
Hold on. If I get a text message,
it was Saturday night, you guys.
Exactly. No, I'm not calling him back because I hope he's having fun.
It was Saturday night.
Okay, Saturday.
And so I texted back, and then we eventually called. And then we talked for like an hour, but it all centered around that trade. But at least I got to talk to my son for an hour. But that was a big deal in the NBA. I mean, you're talking Luka's 25.
It's a big deal, but it's also going to probably end up as the worst trade ever in the NBA.
For who?
There's
probably
a lot
for
of
Dallas.
people who are saying that trade,
Yeah, for Dallas. Dallas is stupid.
This is also the same. This is also the same association that fires their coach the next year. So I mean, none of these owners or GMs or whoever they don't make a lot of sense.
No, that's why I don't watch the NBA.
They must all be DeWallet's friends.
They make moves that are about as intelligent as wiping your butt before you poop. And I'm pretty sure that this is going to be one of those.
And the fact that, like,
hey, Chris, is that front to back or back
Jason
to front?
Kidd, the coach, didn't have a clue.
That's like good. Hey,
front to back or back to front.
Both. Cover all your bases.
I'm so glad I was not on that show.
Oh Lord!
Woo! That was
all right. So speaking of big shows coming up this weekend, there's a big show. It's a big game.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's a big game.
Okay, hold on. Before we talk about the Super Bowl, what's everyone doing for the Super Bowl?
I'm gonna just sit down and watch it.
I'm gonna sit in my recliner and watch it.
I mean, I'm not. I'm way past the. Hey, let's go hang out. No. I'm not off the next day. If I had a 4-day school week,
I didn't say let's all go get hammered. I just said
Jarvis is like, hey, you guys want to come over?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Are you
Y'all
rooting for
want
the
to go
Eagles?
down?
Because if you are, you're not allowed to come over.
Hey, we can't go to Deering's garage to watch the game because Deering's actually going to the game.
Well, he's going to be.
Hey, guess what? Nobody cares about him. Anyway, so
clip that off, Chris. I'm sending it to him. Clip it off.
Go ahead, send it to him. I'll tell him to his face.
I know.
But I was just asking. Anyway, Chiefs by 14.
Ooh.
What's the over under on the game? What's the line?
Hang on. The line's 1.5.
Holy cow. That's it?
Yep, 1.5. Hold on.
What?
I go to ESPN bets.
What goddamn point?
1.5.
I just want this. I want this.
Kansas City 1.5.
I want this to be an Eagles victory with Saquon winning MVP, just to have a replay back to that office with the New York Giants.
Yeah. Over under is 48.5. What about this? The money line, Philadelphia even. Ooh.
I'm going to say that I'm going to take the over on the score. And, man.
Over 48?
48.5.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a lot of points.
Yeah, I think
I'm with
open it
Chris.
up.
I'm going to take the over.
I'll take the over, but I'm still taking Kansas City, but it's going to be a 3-point game. Another one of the
Kansas City by 5.
The other one, Kansas City winning in the latter stages of the game with a field goal.
Philadelphia by a touchdown.
Ooh, bold
Okay,
prediction.
so
what's Zach? What's Zach?
Oh,
Zach,
yeah,
you
Zach.
said anything.
What is the
already said it.
NFL hashtag? I'm saying NFL hashtag rigged.
Oh, yeah. You missed that episode.
Do you give the Chiefs what makes the NFL more money? The Chiefs winning a third in a row.
Chiefs winning
a
the
damn winner.
Repeat for the first time in
Taylor Swift.
Pat McAfee, did you watch it?
Know.
Did you?
I haven't watched it yet.
McAfee, I did not.
Okay, so
what did he say?
So they had an episode recently, and they talked about it. You're telling me that every game is a different set of refs, right?
The same crew can only work the same team 2 times a year.
You're telling me that a secret is going to be kept that the NFL is rigging games, and they're rigging games for the Chiefs with all those different people involved? Your ass is stupid. Zach McVey is dumb.
It's like
Because
200
there's
referees.
Yeah, because the NBA and those officials, they haven't been busted for cheating, and they have the exact same amount of
There's a lot of
teams.
integrity. They have a lot of integrity in the
Come on now.
the NBA. Okay.
Oh wait, NCAA basketball, they weren't point shaving for who knows how many decades. Come on now, it's all about Vegas. Jarvis, you have said Vegas and sports betting and all of that. To sit here and say it's not plausible, I don't think that's.
It's
I
not
think that's
plausible that there
disingenuous.
hasn't been concrete evidence. If that many people were involved, there would be evidence concrete to convict. You're out of your mind.
What does plausible mean?
If the glove don't fit, you have to acquit.
What's plausible?
Is it like an old wooden ship from the Civil War?
Did you
know what that means?
did you see
Smells of rich mahogany?
I think Travis Kelce's interview was exactly on point. He said, "Are you kidding me?"
What he
said? He basically said, "And you, as the media, are going to jump on this train." Dude, there's no way.
He's with dating Taylor Swift. He's part of the Illuminati. Of course he's going to say that. I'm just playing.
Stop, Zach.
By the way, I just wait. Hey, I saw something. I just saw something on Twitter about Patrick Mahomes and Brittany Mahomes. That says that she won't touch him during photographs in fear of getting a 15-yard penalty. So,
wow.
The internet is always
on fire.
Always
needed.
It's the same as it was when the Bulls were winning championships. It's the same as when the Patriots were winning championships. A bunch of crybaby, you know what, are gonna blame it on something.
Turn it loose, Kevin. Turn it loose.
And Zach McVey is a crybaby, you know what.
Kevin, I want to hear Kevin.
That being said, I'll say this. I will put it officially. I will say the Chiefs. So I will put that out there. But no, you just can't tell me as much money gets floated around anymore. There is no integrity anywhere in any way, shape, or form. So to sit here and say it's not rigged, at least a percentage of it isn't rigged.
It's not rigged. You are freaking stupid. It is not rigged.
Okay.
No way.
Okay.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Well, I was just going to say the Patriots were probably a bad example to talk about not cheating when they were winning.
There you go, Kevin. Thank you.
I wasn't saying they weren't cheating. I was saying but you took that totally wrong. My analogy was
listen. All I'm saying is
we hate winners. We hate winners.
Hey, all I was saying is maybe when you talk about the integrity of champions, maybe you should have gone with something slightly different than.
I wasn't talking about the integrity of champions. I'm talking about I was talking about the officials, and there's no way that they can have a fix on that many games. You're outside your mind.
I'm just saying, I would have picked a different example.
Yeah. Can I ask this?
No.
The Chiefs have not, in any of their playoff games, have not given up 100 yards rushing to a running back. Do you think Barkley is going to be the person to break that?
Yes.
There you go.
Who's Shaquan?
Barkley's going to be the MVP.
Shaquan. He shakes his booty. Shaquan.
I wish he's going to be the league's offensive player of the year. I still think Lamar is going to be the MVP, which sucks. Shaka Khan. Shaka
Khan Barkley.
It's because he's a quarterback. Lamar's getting that.
It's the quarterback award. It's the quarterback award.
You have to do something like 2,000 yards you had the extra game. I know he didn't play in the 17th game, but nobody thinks that's as big of a deal. They just don't. Lamar's running for almost 1,000 yards. All these quarterbacks are throwing for 1 billion touchdowns and like 5 interceptions, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing ever." Saquon Barkley's a throwback player. I think it's great. If he would have rushed for 1,700 yards and had 1,000 yards receiving, we would all be like, he's the greatest thing ever. He's MVP. But
I agree with Kevin, though. That vote should be held after the divisional round, not at the end of the regular season, because it is a regular season award right now. And if you look at the regular season award, Barkley's the offensive player of the year. Lamar is probably the MVP, with Josh Allen a very, very close second.
And nobody said a word.
If it was rigged, Mahomes would be the MVP.
True story. I'm going to tell you right now,
it's not rigged.
Barkley could probably run for 150, and Philadelphia loses by a point. And Mahomes has a mediocre day, but guess who's going to get the MVP? Mahomes.
No crap, it's team one.
I have seen a couple times this year where the losing team has had an MVP.
I mean, I thought Connor McDavid was the Conn Smythe Trophy winner. Zach, that's the trophy that the most valuable player of the playoffs in hockey receives.
The playoffs. That includes the whole body of work.
I know.
We're talking about one game.
Okay.
I'm
just saying.
Yeah.
And it's usually going to go to the winner unless that loser has a phenomenal game.
I'm gonna agree with Chris on this one. Sorry, I've agreed with you all night, Jarvis. I'm agreeing with Chris.
Hey, Jim Powers.
Hashtag winning.
Hey, Jim Powers. Hashtag finally on the show.
Wow, way to piggyback my
Hey,
joke.
Kevin, look what I got myself a little softball bat right here. So
What for? You're by yourself, man. You live in St. Louis. Is that what you need it for?
That's why.
Well, then, I did it in South City. That's why I have it.
So, am I the only one that picked the Eagles?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hashtag 91 wins. I'm telling you.
Oh, you just jinx that shit.
Yeah, you've been so.
There it is again.
Oh, you've been.
Listen, I don't believe it.
Yeah.
It
Kevin,
was
There's no
all
jinxing.
Kevin.
Hey,
It was
Kevin,
all good until you just said that.
Kevin, if they win 85 games,
Dude, I'm laying.
I will buy you dinner.
Hey,
Because
what-
they ain't happening.
nope. What Kevin just said is making me bet $100 on the Chiefs. I don't care. I'm doing it now because he just said it. That was like the kiss of death. The Eagles are losing.
Might as well put Saquon on the cover of Madden while we're at it.
Yeah,
That's probably gonna happen. So on that note, boys, anything else you want to talk about, Jarvis?
Saquon was the most dynamic player, in my opinion, in the league this year. He was.
Let me ask you this. Well, never mind, because
ask.
Do the Eagles get to the Super Bowl without Saquon?
No.
So then, I'm asking? He had over 2,000 yards rushing. Why couldn't he be the valuable player?
Well,
the most valuable.
Because it's a quarterback award.
Because Lamar Jackson is playing, and Josh Allen's playing.
Is he in the Super Bowl?
It doesn't
Is
matter.
he in the Super Bowl?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. This award. That award is voted on at the end of the regular season.
If it was voted on at the end of the
matter.
season, it might be a different story, Zach,
Yes.
but it's not. So there you go.
Their voting window is the Monday after the last regular season game to the start of the wild card round.
Should that be changed?
Yes, 100%.
You're damn right it should.
It's hard. It's hard to argue. At the end of the season, you could argue any of their points, Josh, Lamar, or Saquon, and no, I don't think it should be voted for until the playoffs are over and we got the 2 Super Bowl guys.
But the problem that they'll never do that. Now, I would like to see them. I would like to see after the divisional round. Okay,
I had to turn the sound down. You got
big
loud.
production. Because Friday night is the NFL awards, I think it is. And they want to present all of these awards at this thing at the Super Bowl.
Woo-hoo.
So it will never be pushed until after the Super Bowl.
Well, why can't they wait. Do they vote on this like in person or do they do it digitally?
It's digitally.
So why does it freaking matter? Why can't they do it as soon as you get through the AFC and NFC championship weekends? It's like, listen, guys, you've got a 3-day window to punch your little ballot in and be done with it.
Travel to get
horse,
the award winners.
Get the hell out of here. Hey, if you're a finalist for an award, you mean to tell me you can't hop on a jet considering you make millions of dollars,
private planes, come on.
Maybe not through Washington, D.C., but by God, you can get there and be at this event.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, that's the reason why. NFL sucks when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Well, there you go. They suck at that.
Yes.
All right. So hey, here's your question.
Parting shot.
All right, switching gears here.
Parting shot.
All right.
My God, Jim has somewhere to be, boy.
Yeah. Hey, wait. I gotta be up, and I still got crap to do here.
I don't want to hear your sorry excuses.
All right. Sitting on this for a few weeks. Who had the most impactful career? Jordan, Ali, Tiger, or Babe Ruth? The most impactful career.
Tiger Woods.
Jordan,
to their sport.
Tiger
Woods. Tiger Woods. Absolutely 100%.
Hands down.
Not even a question.
It's not even close. And I love Michael Jordan. I'm a Michael Jordan fan.
To me, Muhammad Ali was second in that list.
Yeah.
Jordan and Ali are about second because if basketball was already super popular,
Yes.
Jordan took it to the stratosphere. Boxing was popular but marred with controversy, the Sonny Liston scandal and things like that. And Ali brought a whole new wave of fans in. He was very polarizing too, though, for his politics. Jordan, I believe, is probably second. He's 2A, Ali's 2B, but Tiger, 100,000%, because nobody even talks about golf. There's no live tour. There's no $1 million purses like there are now or whatever it is without Tiger Woods. End of story.
Wayne Gretzky is probably in that list too. So,
yeah, no, I mean Tiger.
I agree with that, Kevin.
On a lot of levels, Tiger, without a doubt, has reset the landscape of professional golfing.
All those guys are on the Mount Rushmore of their sports.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you say sports, and if sports was carved into a mountain, those guys are like faces are on that mountain because they are the most impactful people in those sports.
Remember earlier we were talking about the waste management and how the stadium hole and all that stuff, where it's just an absolute three-ring circus. You weren't on, Kevin or Chris. So
I know.
Without Tiger Woods, the popularity of the tournaments, especially the waste management, because there was a period where Tiger played in that tournament every year because it was in his backyard. The popularity would not even have been close if Tiger Woods was not in the PGA. And you wouldn't see what you see right now. And I love the waste management. I love the stadium hole. I wish they wouldn't throw beer cans at the golfers and all that kind of craziness. But I love how they're, it's fun. It's a great atmosphere. And that would not have happened without Tiger Woods doing what he has done for the game of golf.
Well, and I'm going to throw this out there, and maybe I shouldn't, but in a prominently white sport,
you're right.
And you're
right. No,
right.
100%.
His impact on golf, it supersedes all them dudes.
You don't see a Tony Finau. You don't see a
VJ Singh.
You don't see VJ Singh. You don't see Hal Varner. I mean, the list can go on and on. And but Chris, Jason, you're exactly right. You are exactly correct on that comment.
And that brought also another group of fans that never were interested in golf.
Right.
It brought a new wave of golfer because
that's what I'm saying. It brought a whole new thing to golf. And Babe Ruth, Babe Ruth's hard to argue. He's not on that really top tier. But it's just and we grew up and watched Woods. We watched this whole phenomenon unfold. And we did with Jordan too. It's hard for me to say Jordan isn't the top dog in this, but you're right.
I think they are.
I think that's your Mount Rushmore, and you throw Gretzky into it. I think when you talk about those sports, I think that's your Mount Rushmore.
Yep, I think so. We could all debate who's 1, 2, 3, and all the way through, 5 or 6 guys here, but they're that important, and it's very hard to argue. It's why they're arguably the most important players, athletes of all time. Matter of fact, when ESPN did the top 100 athletes, the top 5 was something that I think everybody argued for about the next 2 weeks. And it was so good. Those were the Sports Century top athletes when they did it. Those were great. They really were.
And by the way, I'm glad you brought that up, Zach. And collectively, I know our thoughts and prayers go out to Tiger's family and all that. His mother passed away earlier this week, and you look at the guidance and everything that she did to help guide his career. It was just absolutely unbelievable. So, I know the golf world, that was a pretty big hit to the world of golf, heading into the waste management, which is arguably one of their signature events of the year. And that's so, but once again, you can't go wrong with any of them. But when you look at a sport and the impact on a single sport, it's Tiger, hands down, 100%.
Yep. I agree. Well, guys, I think, you guys had a great show. Sorry I couldn't be on sooner. I still got to go back and, look at a bunch of spreadsheets and read emails for people who can't read. So, yeah, it's good times.
Good times.
Real good times.
All right, you mean you're trying to get people to join the NBC?
Okay, so whenever I'll get these emails after the fact wanting their kids to be on the all-district team after we've released the all-state team, I think it's kind of important to make sure that people know that it's, you got to get this stuff done. You always have somebody say, well, I don't see why we have to sign up for the NBCA, to have our kids all districts. Like, well, then go start your own damn thing and then recognize all the kids you want to do. I really don't care. It's our awards. We're doing it, for your kids. So I think it's just only fair that you pay membership dues.
And
why wouldn't you?
Every other association does it. So
every other
stop complaining.
Does it.
I will say this, since I've joined, which I was a member all the time, but when I've actually got involved in seeing all the work that these people do to promote the sport and to promote the kids of the sport.
Yep.
Dude, it's $45 freaking dollars.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do
it. The hardest part is just making sure people know. So if it's just one of those things. We want to spread the word. We want to try to recognize kids. That's what we're all about. I think we're down to, out of the 1,075 head coaches in the state, I think we're under 100 that have not paid. So it's great. I'll be sending some more emails and text messages. And then as I'm starting to get our all district nominations piling in from people, answering those fun emails as well. But, it is what it is. It's just a lot of sorting and copy and paste that have to happen.
Nothing wrong with that.
Thank God for copy and paste.
That's
Whoever
right.
came up with that,
right.
Whoever came up with that, you're a saint. Whoever came up with glitter, I hope you die. And you're dead, I hope you roll over and bake.
Chris, do you want to take us out, or do you want me to take us out?
Jim, you've been doing a great job. I'm just coattail riding. That's been the story of my career, so I'm just going to continue coattail riding.
According to the book of face, you are correct.
Oh my gosh!
What I did.
Well,
I'm just wondering. Hey, Chris, did we coattail ride conference championship? Where I don't
know.
I don't know if that. I think we did that on our own.
Hey, you know what? I wanted to post
so.
something. I'll say it out loud, and maybe they'll hear it. Previous coach couldn't beat Herky, so I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just saying, I just coattail ride people.
Yeah.
On that note, it's been a great night.
I was fired up by that post, dude. Go ahead.
Yeah, we all were. It was BS. So, but no, another great show, another great night. And
you're damn right. It was a great show. Chris wasn't here.
Oh.
I'm here right now.
What are you talking about?
For the length of the show.
Whatever. You show up late because you're doing whatever. I'm waiting on my food.
Hey guys, is I on time tonight? Is I on time?
Good for you. How many times do I start the show? Because I'm the guy who pushes the button, and you're the one who shows up late. Shut up. I won't hear it.
I show up when I want
Listen,
to.
don't go chasing waterfalls, okay? I won't hear it.
I'm gonna get us out of here before any more.
TLC.
I know what you're talking about.
TLC.
Great to see everybody. Hopefully, we'll see you next week for episode 125. Who knows what we're going to talk about? But I am sure it's going to go off the rails for the whole crew. I'm Jim
See
Powers.
you later, Jimmy.
We'll see you next week. Peace out.
episode of the Coach's Box Call It Like We See It podcast is brought to you by Off the Rails Media. Life's more fun when you're off the rails.